and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be here with you. Welcome if you're new to my channel. I had a lot of new subscribers while I was gone in the month of October, and I'm just so excited to be back and glad to be back and talking with you guys and sharing my budget journey. We are consumer debt free, not mortgage debt free, but we are consumer debt free. So I tried to come on here and just share with you how we make decisions with our money and how we steward our money so that we can get the most out of every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. So there you go. So I have Paycheck 1 here, and that's what we're going to do. Now this is going to be a short budget period because it's only 2 actual days, but a lot happens on the first of every month. So I kind of am like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do a Paycheck 1, even if it's 1 day or 2 days, because a lot of things come out on the first of every month. There's income that comes in very quickly on the first or just before the first of the month that are government checks, and then the rest of it is things that go out and happen in the first of the month. So we are going to fill in the numbers. We're going to come up with what should be left over, and when we come up with that number, that is what we will balance forward to the next paycheck period, because that's how I track my budget. So here we go. Let's go ahead and dive into this. First thing I have, as you can see, I don't balance forward a balance in my monthly budget or in my budgets overall from the previous month. I actually close out every month at 0, usually after the first of the month happens. So there's always money in the account, but I make sure whatever money happens in one month does not go into the next month or is sent to savings very quickly after the first of the month. And so we don't start with any money. We just start with the first paychecks and carry on through the rest of the month. So the first thing we have is military retirement, and I got to position my chair a little bit here so I can write without turning the notebook. Military retirement, I have $1,759.30. My husband did serve in the Navy for 20 years. This is his pension, minus some deductions that we have coming out. VA disability, when they scanned him from head to toe and he was out of the military, they gave him 90%. So he gets $2,353.39 in compensation for his disability caused by the Navy. My son pays rent, $774, and this will go to his portion of the utilities, the mortgage, the groceries, the whatever for living here at home. And I put 0 for other unless I have income that actually comes in during this paycheck period, which I don't expect in the first 2 days. If I transfer funds from our savings accounts into this account, because this is a representation of our checking account where all the money comes in and all the bills are paid out of. It's one operating account. I make sure that this tracks with the balance of that account. And so I can add any other income or refunds or transfers of savings into this account right here in the other section. So there is that. Get my calculator here, and we will total up what Paycheck 1 will look like. And like I said, this is only a 2-day period, so it's going a little strange, but it's easier for me to break it up this way instead of trying to catch everything all at once. Once all the money hits, it just makes it simpler for me. So it's a lot of work trying to do this budget for our family, 4 adults. So there you go. Let me go ahead and total this up. I'll be right back. All right, we are working with, and this is what we usually work with on the first paycheck of the month, it's $4,886.69. That means our mortgage payment usually comes out on the first of the month, and this happens on the first of the month, so that works out pretty well to make sure that is getting covered. So it's $4,886.69. Now let's move on to what details I need to track as far as fixed expenses. Of course, the mortgage is the first thing. I always put the total that is going to be withdrawn, which is our mortgage, homeowner's insurance, and escrow account, plus $550 principal only payment. And that is what I have in this one amount that they distribute at the bank when they get the numbers. So there we go. I hope to do a Mortgage Monday on the 6th. If not, I will do it on the 13th of November once I get the numbers from the mortgage company. So $2,450.17. This did drop like $27.50, I think, from previous months because they were overcharging us in the escrow department, and they cut back. And so when they cut back, our mortgage dropped a little bit. And hopefully it's more close to what the actual escrow is supposed to be. Roth IRA, I always transfer money into savings into a money market account and save it all year. And then the first of the next year, I transfer what I've saved, which is the $6,500 for my Roth IRA. That's what I put in last year. I don't know if it's changed or available to put more in for next year. If I can put more in, then I will make that up eventually. But for right now, I'm doing $6,500 for the year, and I do it with each paycheck, and it's $171 per paycheck period. Spectrum is our cable internet phone, and that is $166.24. That comes out the first of every month. My husband has a subscription with Amazon Music. It's $10.59. Has gone up. It used to be $8.99, and then it was $9.56 or something, and then now it's $10.59. It's only gone up $1 or so more, but he still thinks it's worth it, so we keep that. PHC is a tithe for the military retirement, and that is $88. And then God's Pantry is $87. These two combined equal the military retirement tithe, 10%. And then the VA disability, that tithe is actually going to come out in Paycheck 3 because it takes several days to process. So I want to make sure it gets put under the right paycheck period. Even though I've designated it to come out on the first, between their processing system and our bank, it just takes 4 or 5 days to get there. So I'll have it in Paycheck 2, and that'll be the tithe to the VA disability. We tithe to missionaries on that for that. And then I don't have anything else here as far as fixed expenses, but I do have grocery household, and what I've decided on to do is weekly, and even though it's the first 2 days, whatever's left over in what I budget here for the variable expenses, any cash left over that we don't spend will balance forward to the next paycheck period and be used in that. So I have a set amount for the entire month, which I designated in my monthly budget. If you saw that, it might be the previous video or a couple videos, but I did $1,600, $500, $300, $100. Those are grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline, and copay. Those are my constant categories for the budget. And because they are constant categories for the budget, I divide these up by the number of weeks. And I think it's a 4-week month in November that I'm doing it in. So $1,600, divided by 4. Yeah, it's $400 a week. That's for 4 adults. So essentially that's $100 a week per adult to make sure they have everything they need. Groceries. Now everything's combined together when I buy everything for all the adults in the house, but everybody has unique things that they want or they prefer. So that, having $100 a week for everyone really does work out pretty well. And if you don't spend it all, it just kind of carries over through the month. And that's why I have $1,600 for the month. It sounds like a lot, and it is. And inflation has not helped with that. So we are doing $400. If I don't use all $400 going into Paycheck 2, then whatever the difference is will go to Paycheck 2, and I'll just balance it forward. I like doing that because then I don't have to think about, did I stay within budget for the month? This is how I make sure, by dividing it by the number of weeks. Let's see, so this would be 500, my calculator here, 500 divided by 4, I think it's 125, yeah. So this is 125 for restaurants for the week, which makes sense. 125 for $100 to $125 is pretty good for us for the week. There is vacation time in this. Some of our eating out will be designated to vacation money, not the budget money. So we might have extra left over because we took it out of a different area or different savings. Gasoline. Let's see, gasoline will be $300 for the month, $75 a week. So for locally, yeah, that makes sense. It gets my husband back and forth to work, and we get to take one trip to Lexington, which is about 30-40 minutes away from where we live. We live in Kentucky, if you're not familiar, and kind of out in the country, which is kind of nice. And so, yeah, that's about what we can do on average between me and my husband. Copay is $100 for the month. And that's just prescriptions and maybe a doctor's appointment or two. Divided by 4, and that's 20. I don't know why I need a calculator for that. It's $25. Everything we spend money-wise goes on a credit card, and I pay it off weekly, so we do not have interest charges. So anytime I have any spending, if it goes over a certain amount and it's not covered by the amount of money I have in the checking account buffer or what I budgeted for it, it can be held on the credit card a week or two until the next paycheck period. So I always pay attention to how close I am. I don't leave money every month charged on the credit card, because then we will have the issue of getting interest charged. And with this rewards card, I rather them pay me rewards than pay them interest. It's kind of counterproductive when you get rewards back and you've spent all this interest all year long. So this is the setup for this month, and yeah, that's pretty simple, pretty short and sweet. So let's go ahead and total up these two columns, and we'll find out the estimated. And I want to get a sticky note. So I found my sticky notes, and I'm going to leave a sticky note here on what the estimated balance forward to Paycheck 2, but that number is not going to be the actual, and I'll put the actual here once I get there. So let's go ahead and do this, and I will total this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are the numbers that I'm working with. It looks like I definitely have plenty, and it's because I don't have all the bills coming. All the bills I normally pay under this amount are not on this page, just the first couple of days of the month. They're actually part of Paycheck 2. So I do need to balance over a significant amount of money to make sure those bills are paid in Paycheck 2 that I normally pay with in Paycheck 1. It's just Paycheck 2 came so quickly after Paycheck 1 on the 3rd. Yeah, I just had to make sure that I have enough balance forward. So we're going to take this number, and I don't know why I moved a calculator away, and find out how much the estimated amount that's going to be in the checking account the night before the deposit hits for Paycheck 2. How much should be sitting in there, and then when the actuals happen, I can tell you exactly how much we do have. So this was just kind of a guesstimate right here. So I'm going to take $4,886.69, and I'm going to subtract the $2,973, which I think is funny. Again, it's an even number there. It never happens that way. And then I'm going to take the $750, which is going to be our weekly average of how much funds are available every week for all these different categories. And that is going to give me, let me get my Erin Condren here, sticky notes, $1,163.69 at balance forward. Sorry about that. I got cut off, my battery died, and now I'm back. I had to change the battery out. But I was writing down, and I can't see all the number here. I'm going to rewrite this. Balance forward, $1,163.69. There, I can read that better. And put this, oh yay, I've used all this up. I love it when I finish sticky notes because there's so many sticky notes, and this is like the Flora collection. This is like from 2 seasons ago. But I love using these up. And so I'm going to put that here as the estimated balance forward. I'm going to need all that to cover the rest of the bills that are in Paycheck 2 that normally get paid in Paycheck 1. It just happens to be that their dates fell a lot sooner or after the money came in. So I'll show you on a calendar to make it make a little more sense. It's crazy. So how's your budgeting going? I hope it's going well. And if you have questions or comment about budgeting, let me know. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can answer basic questions about my thoughts on it. So if you just want to know my thoughts on something, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to talk about it. But as you can see here, these 6 items, which I have on Paycheck 1, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those 6 items. And then what I could spend, because I decided to do weekly, this is the first week, and then this will be the next 2 weeks. So yeah, these first 2 days came here, and these were all the bills. And then Paycheck 2 starts here, and that's going to go for 2 weeks. And then this is going to go for 2 weeks till the end of the month. And so I had to kind of separate it like that. But it works out. It definitely works out, and I prefer doing it that way. But yeah, I get paid. My husband gets paid on the first. I say but we get paid, and it's all my husband's income and then my son's income. On the first, government checks, and then the salary checks are here and here every other Friday. So that's how our budget works, and this just works for me. And then as you can see, more of the bills I normally pay on the first are over here. So it will get paid, no problem, as long as I make sure I keep this money sitting in the checking account until a couple days later when the salary check comes in again, then we are good to go. And that's the thing, my checking account doesn't get a lot of movement because all the spending goes on a credit card, and I log it and I pay it off every week out of the checking account. I just, it works just so much better for me that way. But if you can't stay in control of how you spend on your credit card, and you don't budget the items you spend on a credit card, then yeah, it can get a little messy. And I used to do that a long time ago. It made it very messy. But this is my Paycheck 1. In a couple days, I will close it out, set up Paycheck 2, and we'll be good to go. And yeah, that's what I have for you right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.